Okay, hello, new life training. So today I want to talk about being a sovereign being. What does that mean? I'll be honest, I didn't know about this word until a few years ago, maybe 5 years ago. And maybe it's because English is not my first language. If you're new here, I'm Lahaina. I'm a confidence and freedom coach. I'm originally from Brazil, but I live in Sydney, Australia, and I've been here for 17 years. So someone was telling me about being sovereign, and I was like, oh, I love these words. Straight away, I could feel in my body this pull about learning more about what that means. And obviously, I could understand what he was saying in the context. So if you've been following me for the last few weeks, we've been talking about the patriarchy. What does that look like? What does that feel like? The impacts on being a woman, living in a patriarchal system. And then we spoke about healing the mother wound, which again, it can be an individual wounding, but also collective. And doing some inner child healing work, because that's the access to a lot of the healing. But I felt like it was a perfect segment because, when you do the work and you step into your power, that means, you become a sovereign being. That's how I feel it. So then let me explain. So being sovereign means having complete ownership for your life and being autonomous and feeling in control of your decisions, actions, and beliefs. And a sovereign being recognizes their worth and their dignity, and they take full responsibility for their thoughts, feelings, and actions. So pretty much that's all I talk about in my coaching business, because again, it's all about you feeling empowered and feeling in control. And the only things that we can actually control are our, thoughts and actions and how we move through our feelings, and all the rest is external, right? I can't control the weather. I can't control the economy. I can't control my family and friends, what they talk about and whatnot. So relating back to the mother wound and the patriarchy, as little girls, what we are taught is to be compliant, quiet, even invisible, So I remember I didn't want to disturb the environment. I didn't want to stress my mom or my dad. I want them to love me and appreciate me. And I felt that for that to happen, I had to be super independent and quiet and mature from such an early age, right? And that's where kind of all our problems as women start to form, because we are not really experiencing what it feels to be a playful kid that actually has no worries, because when you're a kid, that's how it's supposed to be, right? You're supposed to be taken care of. You shouldn't be worried about anything. You should experience that playfulness, that joyful moment, experience your emotions, learn about the world. But from such a young age, we're already suppressing most of it, and we trying to take care of even our parents and the situation that we live in, trying to fix things, trying to again, just kind of become invisible, so we're not steering things up. Maybe our parents are already stressed out about money, about their jobs, about their relationship, about the mortgage, whatever it is. I'm sure you can relate to this context. And so what are the challenges and the main impacts about not stepping into your power and your sovereignty? Is the lack of control. So there is a lack of control, and then you end up at mercy of the external circumstances. And this can lead to feelings of helplessness and hopelessness, and for me, that's when we get into a depressive state, is thinking that I don't have the power to do anything about it. Things are as they are, it is what it is. And I'll just get under the covers, binge on Netflix, not have to think about it. But, it's not a way of living. It's literally like you rejecting everything and you resign from the world and from your life. Number two, dependence on others. So there's a sense of this dependence of validation, guidance, and support, which I see so many women and people going around and around, so scared of being who they are because of, I'm gonna offend someone, or they're not gonna like it, they're gonna leave me. So becoming very kind of submissive in a way that, other people are more important than me and I need to keep it cool so I'm still loved and belonging. but again, the impact on this, on our self-esteem is like absolutely huge, right? So that can lead to this lack of self-reliance and confidence in one's ability, because you're always relying on others for their approval and love and validation. Then obviously in the midst of all this disempowerment, feeling unable to make your own choices, decisions, and pursue your own goals. So many times when we are pursuing goals, it could be related to what our parents wanted for us, what society tells us, we should be like this. So they're not really your goals, and that's why you're unmotivated and you're probably not hitting them off. What else? Lack of boundaries which is one of the biggest huge problems for women that I work with in my coaching business. I know for myself, setting boundaries is so challenging for us because we have that people-pleasing personality. And again, we just, a lot of the time, I don't want to say this because I don't want to offend that person, or I don't want to have a challenging conversation. So we keep avoiding the setting of boundaries. And what can happen is that either people take advantage of us, or we step into a victim position, like, why is this happening to me, right? Without taking responsibility that I didn't get clear on my boundaries and I didn't communicate my boundaries. The next one is suppression of self-expression, which again is a huge one, is when you're trying to fit in and be like everyone else and being loved and accepted, and you feel like you can't express fully who you are, and you don't feel like you can be authentic. You don't feel, again, that you can have your own dreams and goals. And that brings such a feeling of dissatisfaction and unfulfillment, which is pretty horrible. Okay, a quote from Evan Ensler: to be a strong woman, to be a fierce woman, to be a true woman, to be a leader, to be truly powerful, you have to get to a place where you can tolerate people not liking you. So I felt like that related well to being a sovereign being, because you will face challenges for yourself and your community. But again, is having that as this is more important than being loved and accepted and belonging, because you will be loved and accepted and belonging by the people that will love and accept you for who you truly are. So that means sometimes leaving people behind, relationships, friendships. And I know that's really, really hard. I know for myself, I see it with my friends, and that's the only way, right? Because otherwise you're really burying yourself under the ground. So understanding that when you own who you are, you own your value, you own your worth, you're not just helping yourself, but you are helping everyone else around you, because you're giving them permission to step into this powerful way of being, right? So you give others permission to own their values, gifts, and strengths. You feel allowed to share your gifts more freely in your relationships, career, family, without shame, guilt, and hiding. It frees you for more creativity, to find better solutions, to find deeper connections. Like I say, you will still find people that love you, accept you, and you feel belonging, but it's actually the true relationships in your life, and creating a more soulful world and reality for yourself. And also embodying this new narrative that, highlighting and evidence of your self-worth, of your worth, of you being powerful, of you stepping into your power and taking that ownership. So being a sovereign being involves respecting the sovereignty of others. I love this. And recognizing their right to self-determination. So again, the more that we focus on ourselves, we're not so much taking the time to judge other people and criticize them. I'm focusing on myself. I'm focusing on my path. I'm focusing on my direction. And this is so cool. And again, when I do this, I allow others to step into their power. And then I can acknowledge that, okay, cool, you're doing the same thing. So there's not so much space for comparison and judgment. Also, when we step into our power, developing a strong sense of personal boundaries, as exactly what I was saying, being willing to have the challenging conversations, being assertive when interacting with other people, and not losing yourself in these relationships. In essence, being a sovereign being means being more empowered, free, fully self-expressed, involve recognizing one's power and taking full responsibility for one's life and the impact that one has on the world. How cool is that? I absolutely love talking about being a sovereign being. And I brought this beautiful quote: when you know you're fire, nothing can burn you, from Sri Sri Rava Shankar. How amazing is that? And if you're loving these topics that I've been bringing you, I'm actually launching my new program this week. So tune in, because I will be telling you more about the program. But basically, we're going deep into these topics and understanding how this affects you, understanding how to move through this, understanding how to step into your power, how to own your bigness, your gorgeousness, your sexiness, your deliciousness, and not feeling like you have to hide yourself to be accepted, feeling like you have to pretend that you're something that you're not. So thank you for being here. If you enjoy this content, please share with someone that will benefit. Please have conversations about this. I love learning about all these sorts of personal development. And then I love going around and talking to my friends about it. And, I don't want any topic to be taboo in our society. I think they're so liberating when we can talk about things, either be spirituality, personal development, sexuality, self-expression, right? Money. And that's why I love bringing content to you guys. So I love learning about this stuff and bringing it on. So make sure to share this with someone that would love this content. Comment below. What did you think about it? Do you resonate? Do you use sovereign in your vocabulary? Do you feel you're a sovereign person? Would you like to become a sovereign being and do all this beautiful work? And I'll see you next time.